What did she say?
I told her that she was too young to be wearing a big bonnet on her head like that in a grocery store. I asked her how old she was. She said she was 13. I asked her, why are you coming out here in public looking like that? And she said, I just took my braids down. I said, no excuse. I said, put a hat on. I said, that's how people stereotype you. And then I asked her, how old are you? She says 13. And I said, that makes it even worse. I said, do not get used to that look. It's not a good look. And you know what she said to me? My mom told me the same thing. I said, your mom is right. Do not come in public with bonnets on your head. That's for bedtime and that's for your house. That's what I told her. And she was very receptive of it because she knew that I was right. Because her mom told her the same thing. Yeah, enough of the ghetto-ness. No more of that. We're tired of that. No more ghetto fabulous. No more ghetto-ness. I'm calling all ghetto-ness out when I see it. Starting today. Okay?
Ooh, wee. Did y'all hear Auntie? Salute to Auntie for telling it like it is. You know, it's very rare these days to see some of our people stand on business when it comes to topics like this. A lot of people, for some odd reason, are too scary to tell folks the truth. The hard truth, I might add. Listen, when she says she scolded a 13-year-old in the grocery store about her bonnet, I couldn't help but laugh because I'm just like, dang. And then when the 13-year-old responded that her mother told her the same thing about not wearing a bonnet in public, I was just like, man, these children ain't gonna listen. They don't care. They gonna do what they want to do. And you know what's funny is that I'm starting to see more of the bonnet epidemic in public spaces besides the grocery stores. You know, I'm used to seeing them in the corner stores. If people are, stopping by to get like cigarettes and beer, I might see somebody with a bonnet and a moo dress on. It might be somebody grandma or something. That's a little bit different in my opinion. But when you see the younger folks with bonnets on their head and they in places like the grocery stores or shopping at the clothing stores like Macy's or even at the mall, I'll see them. And I'm just like, why? I can't talk. Sometimes I too wear a bonnet on my head, but not in public spaces. That's the difference with me. I wear my bonnet at home. Unless I'm not feeling good and I'm going somewhere like the hospital, that's like the only time you'll probably catch me outside my door with a bonnet on my head if I'm not feeling good. But most of the times, I put my little coil cream in my hair and pop my little curls, you know what I'm saying? And try to get a little style going on to look like something before I leave my door. But I cannot stress how important it is when you see people trying to help other people on appearance. It's very important because when other folks who are not Black see our people with bonnets on, they assume that the majority of us are the same. They put us all in one little bubble and they assume that we're all ghetto and we're all from the hood, and it's not true, and it's sad because now you got people who aren't even Black doing this. Like I've seen white boys with bonnets on their heads out here and white girls too, surprisingly. And sometimes if not a bonnet, a do-rag. Yeah, white boys out here be wearing do-rags. You'd be surprised. I don't know what it is, if it's just hood mentality or if it's just they don't care. And I think it's a mixture of both. I just think people genuinely don't give a damn about how they look coming out the house. And this is why I tell people, especially women in particular, that sometimes it pays to really look like something, even if you're going to the store. I'm not saying you gotta dress up like you're going to the fashion show, but at least look presentable. Pop on a bra or something, put on a nice looking clean outfit. Don't put on something dirty that ain't been washed. I got stains on it and you just strolling and like you on the, trail looking for something and people can mistake you, for something else. I've seen it. I've seen people be mistaken for, you know, uh, prostitution and stuff because of the way they dress. And believe it or not, I actually seen one of them in real life at the corner store. It was so funny. She didn't have a bonnet on her head. Her hair was actually done very nice. She looked like she just got a hairstyle. But what she was wearing, oh my God. She had on like this onesie catsuit looking outfit. It looked like she was fresh out the strip club. I don't know where she came from or where she was going or where she was heading to, but Auntie, she looked like a hot mess. When I say like it was giving clown times 10, clown times 10, seriously. She was in there talking with some dude, some black guy, and then she walked outside the corner store, and I think she was going to somebody's vehicle. And as she was strolling to that guy's car, whoever she was talking to, I think she was talking to a white dude at that point, I seen some construction workers whistling at her and making, cat noises, like cat call noises. And she was just like, I ain't no hoe. She got mad. She's like, I ain't no hoe. I was just like, but you look like it though, so what you expect? You don't think somebody gonna catcall you in public and you coming out here with a whole onesie on, looking like you about to hit the pole, and early in the crack of dawn. It wasn't like it was late night. Oh no, this was like at 7 o'clock in the morning. I happened to be Ubering real early in the morning, and then I seen her at the corner store at the gas station, and I was just like, what in the world? Yeah, she was hot off the press for sure. She looked like she had just got done with a customer and did not care, did not give two damns about what she looked like coming out the door. And it's very sad. It's actually quite depressing if you think about it, because I'm just like, when people do this to themselves, I feel like they just really don't love themselves. There's no type of self-love, no type of self-care. I feel like people legit do not care when they do this to themselves. I don't get it, and it's worse when they're not by themselves. What makes it worse is that sometimes when I do see the bonnet gang, I call them the bonnet gang because they come in couples, they come in groups. Trust me, I've seen them out here. It'll be like a group of them with bonnets on, and I'm just like, why? And they be young. They look like they be in like their 20s, or they look like they're like late teens. Just strolling, just going inside places like Chick-fil-A and McDonald's with whole bonnets on their head. And then sometimes it'd be a whole family. It'll be like the mother has a bonnet on, the baby in the basket got a bonnet on. I've seen it. You'd be surprised. I've seen some crazy things out here. And they be what they do, whoever they with. Just going shopping as a family of bonnets. And it's just like, but why? I feel like when people do that, they just don't have no type of common sense at this point. There's no common sense. There's nothing being taught in the household. They probably failed in their upbringing. At that point, I feel like I blame the parents. All you can do is blame the parenting. Bad parenting, no morals, nothing. One thing I can say about my upbringing, I'm very blessed and fortunate to have parents who are very strict on what I could wear and what I couldn't wear growing up. And they were very, very adamant about making sure my hair was combed at all times, whether if I was going to church or not, going to the grocery store. They didn't care where I was going. They wanted to make sure I looked presentable everywhere I went. And like I said, the only time that I looked a mess is if I wasn't feeling good or if I was going to the hospital, because nobody is trying to be at a fashion show going to the ER in the middle of the night. People are going to be in their pajamas. They're going to be in their moo-moo dresses, whatever, going to the hospital. That's understandable because you're not feeling good. But when you're in perfectly good condition and you're out and about and the sun is up and you still come out in PJs and bonnets, I don't understand. I couldn't stand looking at that BS. So every time I did Uber and Lyft around here, You know, before I started having my car issues, so my car is about to go back in the shop again. Not thrilled about it. Ugh. But yeah, I've seen it all the time. Every time I pick up people, they be smelling like tweed, just stinking like cigarettes and beer, wearing bonnets and PJs. It's terrible around here. Terrible. And I'm just like, did you not learn anything? You know, I feel like the school system has miserably failed them too, to be honest, because the schools allow that BS too. When I say the school system failed them, I'm talking in regards to like appearance. Now, a lot of these schools, especially public schools, you know, they don't care what these kids out here look like. They'll come out here and allow them to come inside the schoolhouse with their tattoos and mess showing, piercings all over the face. That's the one turn off for me is when you got tats and piercings in your face and you think it's cute and you wearing a bonnet and you wearing PJs. Oh, turn off. Turn off. People don't understand, but when you do that, you just ruin yourself. You ruin yourself for opportunities. You ruin yourself for jobs. Like, people really don't be thinking about that stuff. Then they got crazy colored hair, color in their hair, blue, green, red, purple, orange, looking like a rooster, thinking it's cute and like it's trendy and it's fashionable. And you'll see them in spaces over here. You'll see them in like Starbucks. You'll see them in like a lot of coffee shops. I don't know what that is, but I feel like it's a liberal thing. I feel like a lot of these young liberals, they got the septum nose ring, the tats on the face, and all that mess. Ugh, it's a nasty habit, nasty turn off for me. I don't get it. I don't understand why some of these businesses don't enforce stricter rules when it comes to appearance, because how would you feel if you're out and about going to a restaurant, going to a bar, or going even to a coffee shop, and all you see is some big old dude with piercings all over his face, tattoos all over him, and it's like, how would you feel? And they just look like they ain't washed or bathed their ass in days, and then they serving you. It's a complete turnoff for me, personally. If I feel like somebody just looks unsanitary, I'm just gonna turn around and walk away. I don't want no parts of it, because that just tells me everything I need to know about cleanliness, appearance, and professionalism when it comes to certain businesses around here. But anyway, y'all let me know y'all's thoughts in the comments below. Do y'all approve of the bonnet gang, or do y'all disapprove of the bonnet gang? Because hell, I disapprove, obviously. I don't care for it. It's very ghetto. It's very, very ghetto for the culture.